Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, Ibu Bapak sekalian, esteemed guests, colleagues, and fellow educators from across West Java. I hope this evening find you well and in a good spirit. On behalf of the TOT Jabar team, in collaboration with ITB Kota Bogor and supported by Stekom University and Perkumpulan Teacherpreneur Indonesia Cerdas, I extend a warm welcome to each of you to this insightful webinar on leveraging language and literacy for 21st century learners. Okay, before we delve into language and literacy for 21st century learners, let's set the tone for this enlightening evening by reciting Al-Basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. With heart filled with gratitude and mind open to learning, let us now stand united in the spirit of patriotism as we listen to the inspiring strains of our national anthem, Indonesia Raya, and Stekom University profile.
Universitas Sains dan Teknologi Computers Stekom punya modal besar berupa ide-ide baru yang dapat direalisasikan dalam menjalankan industri kreatif.
Bagi semua mahasiswa Universitas Stekom harus memiliki skill dan kompetensi untuk bisa produktif dan bersaing di tingkat global.
Universitas Sains dan Teknologi Komputer dapat dimanfaatkan sebesar-besarnya bagi generasi muda untuk memperoleh kesempatan memasuki dunia kerja, berkarya, dan berinovasi untuk pembangunan, terutama di sektor ekonomi.
Universitas Stekom memegang peranan yang sangat penting dalam pengembangan aspek kewirausahaan, khususnya untuk UMKM masa depan yang berbasis pada kreativitas dan inovasi teknologi.
Universitas Sains dan Teknologi Komputer Semarang berani mengambil peluang dan berinovasi dalam mengembangkan kewirausahaan dan perdagangan digital di tanah air.
Universitas Sains dan Teknologi Komputer mampu melahirkan lulusan yang memiliki kompetensi yang dibutuhkan dunia kerja hari ini, sehingga lulusan kampus dapat langsung diserap dunia kerja.
Universitas Sains dan Teknologi Komputer atau Universitas Stekom merupakan salah satu perguruan tinggi terkemuka di Jawa Tengah yang berpusat di Semarang. Berdiri lebih dari 37 tahun dan memiliki 8 kampus cabang dan 1 gedung pusat karir yang tersebar di berbagai kota di Jawa Tengah.
Tunggu. Kayaknya kita langsung aja deh ngeliatin fasilitas yang ada di Universitas Stekom ini.
Yuk, ikutin kita.
Ayo.
Sambil bekerja atau bekerja sambil kuliah merupakan kebanggaan bagi 6.000 lebih mahasiswa aktif Universitas Tekom. Sebuah prestasi yang selalu meningkat dan terbukti. 90% mahasiswa Universitas Tekom sudah memperoleh pekerjaan dan sukses di dunia kerja dan wirausaha sebelum diwisuda. Universitas Tekom juga memiliki kerjasama eksklusif dengan toplocker.com, platform pencari kerja yang mendapat penghargaan juara 1 Startup for Industry 2022 dari Kementerian Perindustrian. Universitas Tekom juga aktif bekerja sama secara internasional dan berteman baik dengan berbagai universitas terkenal mancanegara. Berikut adalah lokasi kampus Universitas Tekom yang tersebar di Jawa Tengah.
Ojo mek kerja, ojo mek kuliah digabung nek. Kerja sambil kuliah, kuliah sambil kerja. Ngono iki. Universitas Tekom, Universitas Tekom, Universitas Tekom. Universitas Tekom kuliahnya menyenangkan.
Wow, Universitas Tekom, Tekom University, a beacon of academic excellence and innovation. Tekom University has been at the forefront of shaping future leaders and changemakers for over 37 years. Our commitment to providing a holistic and transformative educational experience extend beyond the classroom. Through initiatives like our regular webinar series, we strive to connect with the wider community, fostering a culture of lifelong learning and intellectual exchange. Ibu Bapak sekalian, tonight's webinar titled Leveraging Language and Literacy for 21st Century Learners promise to be an enriching and thought-provoking exploration of the critical role language and literacy play in preparing our students for the demand and opportunities of the ever-evolving digital age. We are honored to have with us tonight Mrs. Aisyah Habir, co-founder of PiBo, a leading organization dedicated to promoting innovative and effective language and literacy practices. Mrs. Habina brings a wealth of expertise and experience to the table, and I have no doubt her insight will be invaluable to our understanding of this crucial topic. Guiding our conversation tonight will be Mr. Agung Darlianto, a seasoned educator and passionate advocate for language and literacy education. Mr. Agung expertise and enthusiasm are sure to make this webinar an engaging and informative experience. Before we hand over the reins to our esteemed speaker to ensure a productive and enriching experience for all, I kindly request that you to mute your microphone when not speaking to minimize background noise. Utilize the chat function to post question or share comment through the webinar. Raise your virtual hand if you wish to ask a question verbally during the Q&A session. Please be patient as we may experience technical delay. Now, without further ado, let's give a warm virtual welcome to our speaker, Mrs. Aisha Habir and Mr. Agung Darlianto. Hello, Mr. Agung.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me clearly, sir?
Time is yours.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. It's absolutely an honor, everyone. Bapak Ibu sekalian, good evening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is absolutely a very great honor for me to be here to moderate this event. And I also thank you, Ms. Aisha. Good evening, Ms. Aisha. It's absolutely an honor to meet you, ma'am.
Good evening, Pak Agung.
All right,
How are
ma'am.
you tonight?
Absolutely fine, ma'am. Absolutely fine. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Pak Solahuddin, thank you very much, sir. It's been so long that we haven't met each other. So I guess this is absolutely a very good moment for us to meet again. So to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm also inviting everyone to just turn on your camera. I mean so that everyone can actually look at each other. So because, well, to me personally, I don't like to talk to the camera. I like to talk to people. But here we can see each other later on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, good evening. It is absolutely an absolute pleasure to welcome you all to our webinar today titled Leveraging the Language and Literacy for 21st Century Learners. And tonight, we do have the honor to hosting Ms. Aisha Habir, a trailblazer in the field of children's literacy and edutainment. Ms. Aisha brings over 15 years of experience as a graphic designer and creative entrepreneur, and she is the co-founder of PiBo, Indonesia's first edutainment content platform for children. Her passion for children's book and innovative literacy learning has touched countless lives and continues to inspire communities and organizations alike. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Aisha tonight will share her insights on how we can actually harness the power of language and literacy to enrich the learning experience of our children in this fast evolving century. But before we go further, I'd like to introduce Ms. Aisha to all of you here. Speaking about the background of the education, Ms. Aisha is actually the holder of Bachelor's of Arts with honors in visual communications from Surrey Institutes of Art and Design, presently known as University for the Creative Arts in Surrey, UK. She is also the holder of Masters of Arts in Arts Administration from Whitecliff College of Arts and Design in Auckland, New Zealand. And speaking about her career, she has been the art administrations and designer at Gajah Gallery in Singapore from 2003 and 2005. Am I correct, ma'am?
Correct, yes.
All right, thank you. And she has also been the senior graphic designer of Port Burp Limited from portburp.co.New Zealand, from Auckland, New Zealand, from 2006 until 2008. She has been also the head of design and publication from Web Specialist Auctioneer Auckland, New Zealand, from 2008 until 2010. She is the CEO of Mitra Grafia from PT Mitra Gagasema Kriasi in Jakarta from 2011 up to now. And she is also the co-founder and business development director of PT PiBo Media Anak in Jakarta from 2018 up to present. And speaking about her other achievements, or let's say a great experience, is actually she's also the one who's actually handling the foundations of Sasana Bina Keluarga, PAUD and TK Kepompong in Jakarta. She is also the editor of 3 kids book stories, and she's also the volunteers of the community of Ayo Dongeng Indonesia. Wow, this is absolutely amazing. And to all of the learners, we as the learners here, we think that this is absolutely a very good thing to learn from you, man. All right, so without further ado, Ms. Aisha, let's dive into these exciting sessions with you, man. The time is yours, man.
Thank you so much, Pak Agung, for that great introduction. And I would like to extend again a very warm welcome for all of Bapak dan Ibu here tonight. Hopefully we'll have a fun time learning together because it's already 7:30. So hopefully everyone is still in tune to learn a little bit about language and literacy, as Pak Agung already mentioned a little bit and have a bit of introduction. So I'll share a bit of the slide here as a start. So I would like to start first with to say thank you for the great opportunity for me to share a little bit about my knowledge about language and literacy for the 21st century learners, or the future generations, I would say. My name is Aisha Habir. I'm one of the co-founders of PiBo, and I will go into what PiBo is. We are the pioneer in children's digital library in Indonesia. So basically, if you go into our website, www.bacapibo.com, you'll be exposed to more than 800 wonderful children's stories from all over the world. So we understand that the technology now has been a prominent part of the the world, and it's very much enabled a lot of learnings as well. And we hope that this platform would help schools and families as a solution to elevate literacy standards, and of course, introduce children to a lot of beautiful stories so that they have a fun way to read, learn, and play. And why do we went into children's books? Because of this, basically. So a study shows that when not just children, us too, as adults, when we read books, this is what happens to our brain. So you'll see the difference between our brain, the condition of our brain when we watch TV or video compared to when we're actually reading books. So you'll see there's so many changes in the connections in the neurons of the brain, and therefore when you're reading the books, the cognitive activities that are happening makes people including children, of course, be more imaginative. They are basically thinking as they are reading. And that's why, as we all know, reading is one of the, I would say, foundation of how we are going to improve literacy skills. But however, reading and books is not basically the sole answer, as this quote and data shows that by about 5 years of age, at the age of 5, most children have already learned approximately 5,000 words. So kosakatanya sudah sangat kaya juga, but those words aren't acquired, of course, from 5 years old. They haven't, maybe they have ability to read, but not as fluent, but they've already gained that 5,000 words. But those words aren't acquired through reading, but actually through passive listening. So actually language is supported through verbal interaction and also experience with others. So this is to show that, not just books, but also that communication, direct communication, having a discussion, having that interaction together with children is also very, very important. When we're talking about, of course, communication, language, and literacy, the who you're talking to as the audience is of course very important. So if we're talking about literacy skills, about the future generations, we're talking about, the children from today's era, and they are the 21st century learners, or a lot of people call them the alpha generation, or the digital, who are the digital natives. Here, I'll show you a few points from Dr. Tony Wagner, who's the co-director of Harvard's Change Leadership Group. In his book, The Global Achievement Gap, it says that the 21st century learners are really accustomed to instant gratification and always on connection. They are always connected. And everything is very much instant. They can, get information instantly. And they use the web not just, for getting information. They actually extend friendships through the web. They're very interest-driven, self-directed learning. So they will actually search through the web to find things that they really like. And also, not just for something, passively, they also use the web actively to self-express. So how they communicate, internet is a very vital tool for them. Because they're constantly connected, they like to create. Because of course, in just one phone, they can open so many different apps. Multitasking is something that is they're very used to in the multimedia world. They can change medias as well very, very fluently and very quickly. And this happens maybe beyond the classroom. But they fear less and they respect less for authority. They're accustomed for learning from peers, so they like to learn from their friends. They don't like to be talked down to, and they want to actually make a difference. So they do, have that purpose-driven. So these are the kind of, characteristics of these young learners, and we need to understand this if we would like to teach them effectively, because of course each generation would learn differently, according to their interests and of course the world that are around them. This also happens, of course, in Indonesia, where we are now, where of course, children, in a way, from data, has a reading problem. We understand that our literacy level is not very high. We're actually, ranked 68 from 81 countries. And it says there that only 26.5% Indonesian children not fluent in reading. But compared to the two other data below, with high digital consumption, 62.4% Indonesian children has access to internet. And this is quite shocking for me, actually. The 2.5 average children's screen time is 2.5 hours per day. So as you can see, of course, this gives kind of an alarming sense as well, how where they have high media consumption but low literacy rate. So of course there'll be problems there when we're talking about digital literacy, information overload, and comprehension as well. Of course, with security and all other things. So we really need to, put emphasis on that language and literacy skills. As you all know, with all of that, the education system and also education world also adapting with this new landscape. So what do the 21st century learners actually need? One is, of course, developing critical thinking skills, because it's always been how they have to be able to analyze all of the information that they're getting, and how we can develop and foster this character of lifelong learning mindset. Of course, we need to hone that interconnectedness, that now it's very easy for us to connect with each other. For example, I'm here in Jakarta. I can be talking to you from all over Indonesia, and have that effective communication. We can also have this type of communication from somewhere outside of our country, that we're actually part of the global citizens. We're part of the world, and it's very easy to get connected with everyone outside, beyond borders. And of course, at the end, so it all comes down to the 21st century skill set that is always been put forward as something very important. It is actually coined firstly at the World Economic Forum in 2015. A few of them are the foundational literacy skills. There are 6 foundational literacy skills, with reading and writing, of course, being at the very foundation of it, but there's also a few other literacy skills, including numeracy and financial literacy, and also, of course, the ICT or digital literacy, among others. And there's the 4C as well, the competencies. There's critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and creativity, and of course, characters. So these are there's a lot of 3 dimensions in a way of, learning and thing and skills that we need to develop for our children. So this is what is interesting, that now it's not just the academics, but also there's skills, competencies, and characters that are recognized as being very important for the future generation to survive. Actually, they're being resilient in today's world. So it's very tough being children nowadays, don't they? So, but it is also is our responsibility and our task to really to prepare all of the children with all of the skills. So what are the role of language and literacy for the 21st century learners? First, of course, it will help them to assess and analyze information. There was now, as I mentioned before, they spent screen time 2.5 hours per day. So you can imagine the information and all the stimulation that they're getting. And so they need to be able to understand how to analyze that and access it in a way that is safe, and also understand how to get access to those resources. And then, of course, when we're talking about global citizenship and connectedness, when we're talking through different language, like, for example, I'm, talking English and Indonesian as well, how that communication can be effective when we're talking across cultures, across borders, and with people from different backgrounds. That is also very important now that, of course, the economy and everything else is already very global. Of course, we need to prepare them to be, as competent as others outside, not just in Indonesia, but also globally. And of course, at the end is about adaptation. How, of course, the rapidly changing world, they need to be able to, withstand all of that by being adaptable. Now, talking about each of them, assessing and analyzing information, of course, as an example is understanding complex texts. Of course, more and more now, text is getting shorter and shorter. For example, from newspapers now in digital, all the articles get really, really short. But of course, the text still can be quite complex. And so they need to be able to comprehend and understand what it means. Now it's not just about being able to read, but also to, really understand the meaning behind not just the texts that are written, but also, the language or information that is unwritten behind it as well. Information sources, evaluating them, of course, with a lot of hoax and false information is very important. And of course, thinking critically about, whenever they encountered an information, whether it's facts or they can differentiate between facts and opinion, because those two are very different things. And that is very important as well to be understood by all of our children. Now, for the effective communication across cultures, of course, we need to be able to communicate clearly and concisely, because nobody wants to, just listen to someone talking for hours and hours. And enabling collaboration is, of course, one of the highest benefit of having communication across cultures. We can collaborate and do a lot of great things, and understanding across diverse culture. And I think this is true also just, within the country, where in our country itself, I think there's more than how many islands that the country has? We have 17,000, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So each of us can understand each other better, and also how the cultures from everyone from every background, and it actually makes us richer as well in identity when we're talking about being Indonesian. If you're facing, global, being part of the global citizenship, what makes you Indonesian is actually, you will be one of your strengths as well. And this includes, of course, the great richness of Bahasa Indonesia as well. Now, the adaptation to the world, of course, we need to be able to learn quickly, but also adapt very well with the changing surroundings. And this would, of course, we need to continuously acquiring new knowledge, being curious, staying curious. Up until now, we always, try to and find new things for us to understand, and always gain knowledge, because nowadays I think, especially in technology, how technology is evolving all the time, we also need to update ourselves. And this is true as well if you're parents. If you're a parent, you always need to upgrade and update yourself in terms of technology, so for you to also understand what your children is facing, and also how we can make sure the security as well, and safety of our children when they're actually going into and browsing the internet, for example. Now, how is the 21st century skills are being adapted in other other countries and their curriculum? And I think we understand now that Finland has one of the best education system, they say. So this is just an example of how the 21st century skills are being adapted by the Finland national curriculum, and they divide it into a few parts. And what I is very much interested is this multiliteracy. that is also part of the 21st century skills. And this is, I think all of the curriculum are adapting this 21st century skills in their own way, the same as our curriculum Merdeka as well. But talking about the multiliteracy is something that is quite interesting, and I think it also connects to what I mentioned before about having, the characters of the 24 or the alpha generation, where they really like to using they're multitasking between different apps, different medias, different modes of communication. When they do that, they actually need different or multiple literacy skills. For example, if we're reading, for example, now we need to let's say reading something of the newspaper and also reading something from the social media. And that requires two literacy skills. One is, of course, the reading and writing, but also you have the digital literacy that is also on play there. And if we're talking about, having a transactional conversational, then you're mixing between financial literacy and also basic literacy skills, about communication. So things now are very multidimensional, if I can say. So it is about navigating that complex informational landscape and how you survive within that. So how we need to be able to critically evaluate information presented in various forms, again, because it is coming to us from all over the directions, really. And for example, now I have my laptop in front of me, I have my phone, and then I have my earphone as well, and all of those can give information directly to me now that I have to really divide all of my attention, and all that needs special literacy skills in a way. And for us to become effective communicators, I think more and more now communication skills have become very important for us to survive and also be successful in today's business economy and also the world in itself. And of course, then we need to be able to how do I say, be connected to all kinds of people from different backgrounds. I think that's also very important. So that's the language and literacy, how important language and literacy development is. Now, addressing the challenges, I'm trying to, I thought of something quite simple, how to address challenges in language and literacy development. And there are three things, and one is mindset, tool set, and skill set. Of course, mindset first is very important, and because I'm into literacy and children's books and reading, I'm going to put the examples to correlate with reading. For example, for mindset, firstly, we need to eliminate negative stigmas. For example, for literacy development, of course, you need to be able to have and build that joy of reading. Minat baca is very important, and we need to eliminate anything negative about, the understanding or the belief that reading is boring, is, and there's nothing, there's no new things in books and all that, and we need to change that. So eliminate all of that negative stigma. We need to manage your environment. So whenever you're reading, when you're picking books, make sure that the environment is also very fun, and you can turn on the music, for example. So we have to change that mindset and make sure that it is an enjoyable experience, because that in itself will be very, very influential to how actually the children will react to the literacy development or also the learning. They'll be more open to learning when they are, having fun. And of course, before that, we need to make sure that we carefully plan the teaching. What are we trying, your teaching goals and things like that. So we need to make sure that we plan in advance. Now, talking about tool set when reading, of course, we're talking about that multiliteracy and also the multimedia that the alpha generations really relate to. Make sure that you do have a variety of media and tools available for the child, but this is also a variety of books, for example. There are, digital books now. They have physical books. Physical books also have different topics. For example, in our platform, we have cerpen, we have picture books, we have concept books, we have nonfiction and fiction. So all of that really will enrich your children's learning environment and experience as well. Now, not just the tools, but also how the reading strategies that you're implementing, the activities that you're incorporating into the reading is also very important. So you need to have that tools set, as in the strategies and also the plan for the activities, and make sure you make it fun. So that is one of the few things that you can prepare as tools. And of course, at the end is the skill set. Of course, now we have to also keep on improving and learning as well. So make sure that you're always honing your skills again, but also their skills as well. Maybe after reading, you can ask them questions, spark a discussion, and practice active listening. Remember when the quote, the beginning of the talk, when I shared the data about children at the age of 5, they already understand 5,000 words, and it's just by having an interaction with the people around them. And this is actually very important. It's not just about what you're reading, but after that, what they think about what they're reading, whether, it evokes their emotions, whether they understand it, maybe something that is interesting for them, something that they don't understand. Or something that, intrigue them. So it's something, it's always more interesting if you're, really getting into what they're thinking. So this is actually where you are actually developing their literacy skills. So make sure that you do have an interaction or a discussion after they finish reading something. So maybe talking about a few strategies about leveraging language and literacy. There's a few. I'm sure there are others as well, but one of the things that is very useful now in the era of digital, of course, there's technology that you can integrate using online resources. There's a lot of them and a lot of choices, and also how the interactivity of multimedia, the children really relate to that and has more interest in that. So, you also need to make sure or find out things that can enhance your teaching through technology integration. And then, of course, this is something I think you're all very familiar of about project-based learning. I think a lot of PiLima and everything else is also trying to incorporate this. And of course, in this promote collaboration, learning through peers, like one of the things that is the characters of the alpha generation. And also, it also promote communication, because a lot of the project-based learning, they need to discuss a lot of things. And also most of them are kind of group projects as well. So they need to interact and communicate with each other while they're actually learning. So that in itself is, of course, will leverage their literacy skills and language, and that will again, for example, now children already quite used to having presenting their project and everything like that. I think that is a very good skill set to have. Now, the third one is encouraging critical thinking. I think critical thinking is something that it has been repeatedly being mentioned as something that is very important in this era, and of course, related to that is problem solving. And how we do that, I think some of you are familiar with HOTS or high order thinking skills. So you can start with just open-ended questions and discussions. What I mentioned before about skill set is just having the right questions to ask, and there's no right and wrong also, and just have a very lively conversation with the children, and so have their imagination going wild. Is also very is useful and is very fun too. Of course, after reading this, a lot of things that we can point out from the books that we can discuss and elaborate more. At the end, of course, fostering love of reading, because as you know, books are the windows of a new world, and there's talking about global citizenship and global connectedness through books, just like internet. It's basically it's a door to another world, and something that you can learn, and how children can learn empathy as well, because they learn from all the characters inside the stories. Here, when they love reading, they also have the build that always staying curious, and also the lifelong learning, because they keep on getting more information from different types of books. So make sure you do have diverse reading materials, and of course fun literacy exercises. And of course that discussions and questions as well. Now, all of those like these four strategies can be supported by PiBo as well. So I'd like to share a little bit how PiBo looks like. For example, this is the homepage of PiBo, and this is all of storybooks that you can click. And here, maybe let's just talk to the friends. Since we're talking about language, there's also we have 23 themes that you can choose from. And we have a theme for just English books, and also languages from traditional Indonesian places. So there's from Sumatra, from Java, and all others. So don't forget that languages are also local languages and not just countries. So we have a lot of but of course, if we want to hone English skills, there are plenty to choose from as well. So I can start with that, of course. And then when we're talking about experiences, there's also a few of some modules that can help. This is free to download, by the way, and it will help, for example, how to read books and the activities and questions to be asked about all of the different books. So I think that's that for tonight. So thank you. Hopefully it was quite informative, and I'd like to ask, of course, if let us know if you would like to know other, other topics that you're interested. Let us know as well, and I hope we can have more discussions later on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Aisha. Okay, this is absolutely very nice materials. Okay, so is my sound loud and clear, ma'am? Can you hear
Yes,
my
yes,
sound?
I
All
can
right.
hear you loud and clear.
All right, thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, everyone else, okay, so I'm actually inviting everyone to send or to deliver your questions regarding the materials. But before we come into the questions, I just would like to say that this is absolutely a very inspiring one. Well, ma'am, there are some interesting things about this one, except for the fact about the language learning as well as the literacy, because I'm actually coming from the economic background. I can see
Ah.
that literacy is also one part of what we call the SDG part. So it is actually the Sustainable Development Goals, and I believe that literacy is also included as a related to some other SDG, like reducing inequalities as well as the poverty eradications and everything. So this is absolutely amazing, right? So ladies and gentlemen, everyone, so if you have any questions about Ms. Aisha's materials, you could actually feel free to send a direct message to me. And if you have any questions about PiBo, you can also send messages to Ms. Winda or Mr. Rais, okay, in the personal message, okay? And the presence links will be shared later on Q&A sessions, okay? So actually, Ms. Aisha, there was one questions, but fortunately, it has been answered from your material, which
Okay.
the question was actually from Ms. Dia Azhari. So she's actually
Hi, Miss
asking
Dia.
about the uh, 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 can you provide some practical tip for educators and parents, especially, okay, to
Right.
create a more literacy-rich environment at home and in schools? Apparently, you have answered that one, and you showed the examples of the Finland curriculum, and that's absolutely a very great one. Another questions here, ma'am. There are some questions here. The first one is actually how to enhance reading competence for elementary school students. Now, that's actually the questions.
Yeah.
And then are the materials in PiBo such as the PDF materials have English versions? There are two questions about that one. Perhaps
Okay.
you could actually answer that one first.
Sure. Okay, I'll start. Thank you, Pak Agung, for telling me about the all of the questions. There are great questions. So thankfully, a few of them have already been answered.
Yes.
Now, I think the first one was the how to enhance reading competencies for elementary school students. Basically, I think I'll go to this slide specifically. Okay, so basically there's three things. There's the mindset, tool set, and skill set. This also applies to your question how to enhance reading competencies. Because one, when we're talking about the joy of reading, because when we want children to learn without feeling that they have to and being drilled. So we feel that learning is more of course more activated when they are ready, but also happy learning. And when they do and when they're open to that, of course, if being in a positive environment and having a positive mind, that would help a lot for them to accept all of the information. And that is to do with the mindset and how you can, of course, having that joy of if you can foster the joy of reading, This translates to basically having improved minat baca for all of the children, because when they like reading, you don't have to, push that. They will basically trying to find more materials for them to read. So one is that try to foster the love of reading, the joy of reading, give them more great collections of books that they like with interesting visuals, having give storytelling or read aloud sessions that are entertaining. Make sure that they fall in love with the stories and with the books itself. So one, that is mindset, how to open them. And then with the tool set is make sure, I think I've put it in here, having variety of media tools. That means have a lot of books. Just surround your children with a very rich literacy environment. For example, having books around, but not just that, having alphabets, for example. I personally love going on, when you're on car rides, you ask your children to read anything that is around, whether it's signage or something. Make them be aware of that and having to read it together. Of course, and also getting to know all of the strategies and literacy activities. Of course, you can go to PiBo, where you can download all of that modules, and that's already free and readily available for you. So it can give you some inspirations of the tools that you can use. Going to the second questions, all of them are in Indonesian, in Bahasa. However, I think that can also be, a challenge as well, to maybe can, it can also just be an inspiration, and you can create similar or similar modules, but you can create it in English for what you need, if you do need English modules. And the third one, having a discussion, having more interaction. Make sure you yourself also have read the same books that they read, so that having a discussion with them would be very very exciting. And make sure you listen as well. Make sure you're in the same level as the child, so they can really open up to you. I think those are basically the three things: the mindset, tool set, and skill set. That's for reading competence. Oh, maybe one more, if I can add one more, is just basically consistency. Having make sure you're consistent. If you can have routines. For example, I think a lot of schools and teachers now introduces, for example, 5 or 10 minutes reading before a class. Things like that would really, really, do a lot of wonders, just to have that consistency of reading in the children's life. I think that's, I hope that answers your question.
All right, Matt. Copy that, Matt. Well, for the second question, asking about the materials in the English, it's particularly because I could actually see that some of our participants here are actually not only coming from Indonesia, but also coming from other countries, right?
Right.
Indeed, there are some participants who are actually coming from the Philippines. So that's probably the reason why they're actually asking about the English version. So we just really hope that in the futures that, those kind of improvement can actually be conducted.
Yes, we'll keep that in mind.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so another question, Ms. Aisha. I think you still don't mind about this one, ma'am? Another question? Would that be okay?
Yes, of course.
All right. Okay, so it's actually from Merciana Saiman. So this materials is so good. I'm interested with the 21st century learners, that students are able to be critically thinking, particularly in English lesson. But the problem in my regency, generally,
Right.
and in my school especially, are the students mostly don't have much vocabulary. It is
Mm.
caused by most of them don't have dictionary. How to
Mm.
overcome this problem? Now,
Okay.
another one, another
Mm-hmm.
one is actually, does PiBo have English books for all school levels or early childhood educations? I think this already been answered there, but let's just go with the first questions, ma'am, about the overcoming the problem where most of the students are not having a good vocabularies because they don't have, the dictionaries or proper
Right.
things to learn about the languages.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Are these two questions from one person, or these from two people? From two people.
The first questions is actually from Merciana Saiman, but the second questions I don't have the name, but it's actually coming from other different
Oh, okay.
people.
Another
All right.
participant. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you for this is a very common question actually, Bu Merciana, about the vocabulary issues. Now, all I can say is that I only have one solution to your problem, is that just read them a lot of books. Give them access to a lot of books, because in books, there where you will find the wealth of new vocabularies. Because, for example, in dictionary, you find, hundreds and thousands of words, but you will only getting, what it means, but not in context. And also, you don't, you will going back to the old ways of learning, which is remembering, memorizing, rather than experiencing active learning. So I would suggest getting more access to a lot of books. If we're talking about English, or maybe I can answer the second question as well, is that there's an actual theme here for English books, which you can click on and just, click on Lihat Semua, and it will add more and more. And here you can see there's a lot of, themes where, of course, in each theme, you will find, different vocabularies in each of them. For example, here is by a Malaysian author and publisher about, tapir. That is it's a very unique animal that is from Southeast Asia. But there's also other type of animals here, so you learn about vocabularies to do with animals, and also the environment and all that. But for example, you go to Rory, and this will talks about fire engine. Again, it will be very different, all types of vocabulary, but it will already be in a story about interesting characters. And I think that will help the children to be excited and open for learning, so that vocabulary can be, they can take that vocabulary very happily, rather than, memorizing different words that are not in context. I hope that quite clear. So just one way and one solution, just read them more books with from different themes and topics. By the way, so from in PiBo, we have books from below 4 until 12 years old. So pre-primary and primary at the moment, with Jenjang Baca is A to C. with different format books. So we have comic books as well, if you are, interested in a few or different type of formats. I hope that answers your question. Thank
All
you
right,
for the
man. So
question.
apparently all of the levels are actually provided, but it's only probably about the different languages that is going to be the challenge, right, man? So
Yes.
I mean, do you think that you're open to any, cooperations with other teachers or with other entrepreneurs who would like to come up with the, the translated versions or any other language version, fam?
Oh, definitely, of
All
course.
right. So that's also an answer to all of you here, ladies and gentlemen, Bapak Ibu sekalian. If you would like to, let's say, have the cooperations, would you like to translate into your local language or even to English language? You're absolutely welcome for this one. All right. While we're waiting for the other questions, ma'am, this is absolutely interesting because to be honest, I'm personally actually interested in what we call the inclusive education, right? So regarding this kind of inclusive education, right? So the issue is actually many educational platforms and resources actually not really that catering adequately to children with disabilities, right? So regarding these issues, okay, so how could or how have been PiBo able to incorporate features to make digital content accessible to all children, including those with disabilities, ma'am?
I think, for example, we have a book as well, but this is about inclusivity. There's a content, for example, here.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'll start from the beginning. So this is the one of the first picture books that has it's bilingual, and bilingual by meaning is using Bahasa Indonesia and also sign language. But it's Indonesian sign language, of course. I think from what I have from my limited knowledge, I think different countries has slightly different sign languages. But here we introduces sign languages in theme of financial literacy. This is not financial literacy. This is about emotional and activities. So, just kind of 1, 2, 3, and quick and why, jump. So this is how we try to also introduce different languages, because sign language is a different, it is a language. So this is how we try to, one of the I guess, something that we contribute, and we try to build a bridge between the hearing and them who are using sign languages, so they will understand that there are other languages that are being used, and they can start learning as well. There's a QR code at the end of this book, for example, that actually has a YouTube video that actually shows the movement as well. So this is just a few of the initiative that we did. This is the this is one of the books that we actually published ourselves.
I see, ma'am. This is absolutely amazing, man. No, seriously. I mean, although this is actually only from, Indonesian Sign Language, but at least this is actually a sign of, the inclusivity of what people is actually doing. And I really hope that actually in the future is that this kind of books will accommodate and, let's say, embed more inclusivity things, right? For this one. Thank you for coming up with this initiative, man. This is absolutely amazing, and this is absolutely a good one for showing the inclusivity of the educations, right? All right, ma'am. Another questions, ma'am. We got 2 more questions here. Okay. I haven't got the names, but this is actually accommodated from the Ikatan Guru Indonesia. They compile all of the questions. So The first question is actually, if the children have good reading competence at their age, can they move to the next level books, although the age older than them? Okay. And then the second one, how do we introduce the autism children for reading the books? Do you have any idea for this one, ma'am? So two questions, ma'am.
Okay. The first one is easier.
All right, okay.
Okay, so children have good reading competence at their age. Of course, they can move on to the next level, because it's always two things that we need to be wary about when choosing the right book for your children. Is one is their interest, and second is their level of reading. And it's always they say, according to study, is that they need to read the book that is actually still has it still gives them a challenge to read. So it never is about, if it's too easy, then it's not the right book. So make sure that there's always something for them to be challenged about. So there's one theory and one strategy, I think, if I may say, is the five finger rule. So if it's you don't know one or two books, one or two words in the book, then it'll be too easy. And if it's 3 to 4 words, then it'll be that you don't know. I mean, 3 to 4 words that you don't know, that is the right amount. But if it's 5, then it's too difficult. So something to you can test out a few books that if you feel that it is the right level. I find that very useful and simple. And then I hope that answers the first question. And the introducing autism. I think I don't have the background to actually answer that, so I'm not confident if I can answer that, Pak Agung.
Yes, ma'am.
But it is I think it also, I'd rather not.
Copy that, ma'am. Okay, so it's probably the different
Because
expertise.
I don't want to falsely inform.
Copy that, man. Copy that, man. So, besides that one, so actually there is a what is it? The opinion from Miss Kardini Hari. She's actually sharing about the reading competence. So she said something like, in my experience, children with a good competence of reading at their age, they can move to the next level of books. So
Yes,
it's
correct.
actually in line with your words for the first question. So for the next questions, I could actually, on behalf of Miss Aisha, we're actually telling you that this is not actually her area of expertise, but apparently we could actually address that one to the other person, so the other expert who's actually really expert in how to introduce the children with autism for reading the books. We're probably going to have another webinar in dealing with this kind of literacy as well, right? Thank you. So I'm still
I
waiting
think
for the other
I
questions.
would like to share this book because autism is being
Oh,
mentioned.
okay. All right. Okay.
We actually have a book about introducing about autism in a very nice way. About this girl that actually has autism, but it's why something would disturb her or make her feel restless. It's something that could introduce autism in a through stories for people who would like to know more about it. because some people are very, how do I say, prejudiced. So I think this is a very nice way of also introducing to children about the differences of them and other children perhaps, and it's fine, and sometimes we also feel something around us are overwhelming, so we can also relate to a few of how they are feeling. I
This
think
is absolutely nice, ma'am. Even you have the examples of the books telling us about what the autism. So, just like what you say, it's not going to be the prejudice anymore. It's going to be knowledge, okay, about what it is, right? Absolutely fine. That's absolutely nice, ma'am. Thank you, thank you. So another question, ma'am. So this is actually, I haven't got the name, but this is actually forwarded from the IGI as well, Ikatan Guru Indonesia as well. So do you think that books, reading books can actually improve children confidence, man?
Of course, because books are equals to knowledge, and with more knowledge, you'll be more confident. And of course, you'll have that wealth of information. We have wealth of stories. You can exchange information. You can have a discussion with someone where when you actually understand of have or have that knowledge. And also it is something to do with that communication skills as well. If you do have vocabulary, the wealth of vocabulary, you have the communication skills, of course that will improve the children's confidence, because they can express themselves better, what they're thinking, what they're feeling. I think that would definitely will charge their confidence level.
All right, ma'am. So reading more books, getting more knowledge. I assume that way, right, ma'am? So the more you got the knowledge, the more you got the confidence, right? Thank you very much, ma'am. Okay, so everyone, ladies and gentlemen, I'm still waiting for any questions or any things that you would like to come up with, your ideas or probably your thought about how this language learning and the literacy can actually improve our 21st learner in the futures, right? While
Yes.
we're waiting, Miss Aisha. So
Yes.
let's talk a bit about the how the government is actually supporting this kind of educational things, right? So speaking about the government policies on digital education, from what I
Yes.
know, right, there is a need for robust government policy to support the development and integrations of digital educational content, right? So how is your experience? How is PiBo's experience can actually provide valuable perspective on, advocating these policy changes, promoting digital literacy and educations to the government?
Okay, specifically digital literacy or literacy in general?
I would say probably literacy in general, man, because that's actually the things that we're going to talk about more here, right, man?
Right.
Okay.
Well, if we're talking about the government in general, I think I'd rather focus on perhaps the Ministry of Education.
I see.
And where because they have made tremendous changes as well, and have been very supportive of literacy and literacy building, as perhaps even now the Merdeka curriculum for their minimum competence is being assessed through assessing or monitoring literacy and numeracy skills. So literacy is being the foundation of what is being assessed, really, and making sure, because they understand the importance of literacy skills. There's, for example, the you know how Curriculum Merdeka has the episodes of Merdeka Belajar. There's a specific one, episode 23. It is about in bahasa is about bahan bacaan bermutu untuk literasi Indonesia. That really they publish, I forgot how many titles that they have provided free and online, and also printed a few million copies to be sent to the remote areas as well, for them who has limited internet coverage. And also just recently, in the the International Book Day on April, they just launched sastra masuk kurikulum. So maybe outside of Indonesia, English literature is already very familiar in schools, but in Indonesia they just launched it just yesterday. How
Yesterday,
but
right.
on April
Oh, all
April
right.
this year.
Okay.
So they've come up with recommendations, a list of books recommendations that for basically literacy assessment, and also discussions and whatnot. So I think that's already very good example of positive changes that are being put forward by the Ministry of Education, and we really appreciate that as well.
So we can say that it is undoubtedly that the government is actually supporting this kind of policy changes, right, ma'am? Particularly for the literacy. Thank you very much, ma'am. So there is another reply. There's another feedback from Ms. Sakardini Hari regarding that reading can actually improve children confidence. She said that books not only can improve children confidence, but also change their confidence, positive and negative sides from reading. Well, that's actually another feedback from Ms. Sakardini. So
that's a very interesting point of view, Bu Sakar.
yes, ma'am. Okay. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we're still waiting for any other questions, or perhaps Salahuddin, would you come up with the a question, sir? Any question, mister? No, okay. Any questions, everyone? So we're still waiting for the questions. Probably one or two last questions, maybe, before we end our sessions here. Again, Miss Aisha, I'm truly impressed with this kind of materials, because although I'm actually coming from the economic background, but actually I'm also a teacher, so I'm also dealing with this kind of language learning thing, because I'm actually teaching in the international curriculum school, so it's also a bit challenging for me whenever we would like to go with with all of those language speaking, but apparently not all of the students are actually able to absorb the material. So this one could actually be one of the strategies that I could actually embed in my teaching strategies as well. So
Good to know, Bagum.
yes, ma'am, I appreciate that one. All right, so let's just wait. So apparently, I just would like to let you know again, Ms. Aisha, so it is not only Indonesians who are actually attending our webinar today. I could
Right.
actually see from the names, and I could actually see from one confirmation from one of the participants that he or she is actually coming from the Philippines. So it's absolutely amazing to know about that one. And
Wow.
yeah, I mean,
Mabuhay.
regarding the chance of publishing the English versions of the books and everything,
Yep.
just like what Miss Aisha said, that she's absolutely open for what is it to open the cooperations, okay, to improve more about the resources, right?
Yes,
Thank
of
you.
course. If we're open of translating the books into different languages as well in your region.
All right. Okay. So okay, if there are more questions, I don't think that there are more questions. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, besides, you can actually send me the direct message. You can also do raising your hand, so we can actually see that one, and which really appreciate for any any questions or any feedback that you have actually given. So another word from Miss Sakar. Thank you, Miss. Just based on my experience as a school librarian, she said. So yeah.
Oh, no wonder.
I was wondering, ma'am, if I'm not mistaken, this Miss Sekardini Hari, I know her very well as my former colleague, I assume. So, because I didn't see the photo, but I can assume from the name, she's actually one of my former colleagues. And she's absolutely a very good person and knowing a lot about this, literacy things. Well. All
Yes,
right.
I can tell from the questions.
Yes, Mr. Solahuddin, yes, sir. You raise your hand, sir. Go ahead, sir.
You asked me.
All right.
Okay, one question.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, one question. How can we effectively leverage technology to enhance language and literacy instruction, and promote lifelong learning?
Okay.
Leverage technology.
Leverage technology, for example, audio, for example, you know how you can use AI to, for example, do voice for a text, for example, so that you can practice just listening skills, but also pronunciation of words. So that is one of the things that can be leveraged in terms of technology in learning languages. That's of course. And another one is, I think someone today mentioned about dictionary. Of course, dictionary, thesaurus, all of that is now readily available and easily accessed on the internet. So as that, and of course, now digital libraries, just like PiBo, open access to, for example, our platform has more than 800 books. That is for available to read, and it is kind of an archive of great stories for children from 4 to 12. So those are a few ways how technology can be leveraged for literacy. So this book can be opened and read by hundreds of people at the same time. Can be accessed from whenever, wherever. So that's of course, I can go on and on, but those are a few examples how technology can be used to leverage literacy skills. Now I forgot the second question, Pak. Can you repeat the second question?
Mr. Solahuddin, the second question, sir. Solahuddin, the
Just
second
to
question.
enhance language and literacy instruction
Yes.
and promote lifelong learning in
Lifelong
one
learning.
question.
Yes. Okay.
Specifically, you can explore how we use AI for enhancing language.
I think I've mentioned AI, where AI can do voice of a certain word or sentence when they actually have the voice pronunciation or reading or voicing out the actual sentence. People can hear so that they know the correct pronunciation of words. And how to structure sentences, things like that. I think that is one of the that is also AI. I think that is one of the, if it's talking about leveraging language. Also, Yeah, there's a few, but those are basically for helping to fine tune your language. But if about learning, I think one of the great thing is about that voice AI thing. For fostering lifelong learning, I think just reading really, because if we can enhance and improve reading skills and reading interest, I think I would like to point out this quote here from the World Bank 2017. I think this kind of gives that importance about reading, is how children should be taught to read in the first few years of school age, because reading is the most important learning tool through which most other skills and knowledge are acquired. That you actually, if your literacy skills are improved, you read. You will use that to gain more knowledge, and you'll be more readily and more open to more knowledge. It is in bahasa, it would be like, I like to use the quote, belajar baca, sorry, was that baca untuk belajar, bukan belajar untuk baca. So it's always, you read because you want to know more. You read because you want to learn. You read because you're curious, not you learn to read. So that is not what is important. It's actually that that willingness and that spirit that you read more because you're curious, because you want to know more. So when you really love reading, you will find things, you're always curious and learning about other things. So you read everything. You read all of the information that is readily in front of you. And now we have a wealth of knowledge and information from all over. As long as you has that literacy and language skills that would assist you in understanding and comprehending everything. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you, Pak Saludin.
All right. Okay. So one more questions, I assume, ma'am. Okay, there will be one. Okay, there is one more questions. I haven't got the name as well, but this one is actually forwarded and sustained from Iggy as well. So, how is working mom using PiBo to develop connections with the children? Because after work, it's absolutely very tiring. So, I mean, how do you go with this one?
We have a feedback actually from not a mom but a dad who uses PiBo for basically whenever he goes back from work. It is their routine ritual that he reads a book, whether one or two stories before his daughter go to sleep, and that is a routine every night after he when gone home after work. And I think that is very beautiful. And it says, she likes to have read it with me because I'm more tech savvy than her mom because it's a digital library. But I'm sure the mom is also very capable. But I think it's just the daughter has that special bonding with her father, just because of that, and having that routine every night. It is very tiring, but I think children's stories and books are quite short. So and of course you'll be lying there in the bed with your children. I think even though you're tired, I think you'll be very happy afterwards. and it'll be the energy will re-energize you. So hopefully, there is some room and some energy left to actually have that interaction with your children, as like the dad that gave us feedback.
All right, Ben, thank you very much, okay, for the questions. I really hope that also can answer the questions and the curiosity of this working mom. And I'm actually glad, okay, knowing that this working mom has even her own time to join our webinar tonight, right?
Yes.
It's absolutely amazing. So to know about that one. So, ladies and gentlemen, Bapak Ibu sekalian, I just would like to let you know that the presence link is actually given in our chat box. Okay, so you can actually have a look at that one. Do not forget to fill in your presence links for this one. And as for the other questions, I don't think that there is another question, ma'am. So let me just wrap this one up. Okay,
Yes.
so ladies and gentlemen, what we're having tonight is actually about how to leverage language and literacy for 21st century learners. It's actually referring to how do we use the modern approaches and tools to enhance the language skills and literacy of students to prepare them for the demands of the contemporary world. So speaking about the literacy, it's actually the ability to read, write, and understand informations. It also includes the skill needed to communicate effectively and use information in daily life. In today's world, literacy also covers digital literacy, which is also the ability to use technology and digital tools. And for countries around the world, not only for Indonesia, literacy is a cornerstone of our sustainable development. It really empowers individuals, strengthens our economies, and builds more inclusive and resilient societies. So I really hope that what Ms. Aisha has already given us today can actually be a very remarkable knowledge, okay, to all of us to improve the strategies to leverage language learning, as well as to improve the literacy in our world as educators, as parents, and as enthusiasts in the education world. I think that will be all. Thank you very much, Ms. Aisha. I will give the session back to Mr. Salahuddin. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Wow, that was a truly insightful and inspiring session. And I want to thank to Mrs. Aisha Habir for sharing her invaluable expertise on leveraging language and literacy for 21st century learners. Your insights were truly thought-provoking and will undoubtedly be instrumental in shaping our approach to education in the years to come. And a big thank you as well to Mr. Agung for skillfully moderating the discussion and keeping us all engaged through the webinar. Your passion for language and literacy is contagious. For participants, we hope you found this webinar beneficial and that you'll be able to apply the learning to your own teaching practice or endeavors. Remember, the journey of lifelong learning is a continuous one. Stay tuned for upcoming webinars in our series where we explore other critical topics in the field of education. And then I will also like to express our gratitude to Stecom University in issuing webinar certificates for our participants. It has been invaluable in helping us to provide high-quality professional development opportunities for all participants. My special gratitude also to all coordinators of TUT Jabar, to our founder, Mrs. Sari, all crews, Mr. Joko, Ms. Amel, and Mr. Ridwan for their hard work and support in organizing this event. Your dedication behind the scene has been instrumental in making this webinar a success. Before we close, I would like to remind all participants to kindly fill out the attendance form provided via the Zoom chat link and YouTube. This is a necessary step for the issuance of your certificates, which will be processed within 5 working days, and the link has been pinned at the description of WA group. Please ensure that you provide the correct contact information to receive your certificate promptly. Additionally, we will be sharing the webinar material and resources through the Design WhatsApp group. You are all invited to join the group using the link provided. It will serve as a platform for further discussion, collaboration, and sharing of best practices among educators. Furthermore, I would like to invite all participants to consider becoming members of IGI, Ikatan Guru Indonesia, and PTIC, Perkumpulan Teacherpreneur Indonesia Cerdas. This organization offers valuable networking opportunities, professional development program, and resources to enhance your teaching practices. You can register and find more information through the provided link. Thank you once again for joining us for this webinar on leveraging language and literacy for 21st century learners. We hope that it has provided you with a valuable knowledge and inspiration to enhance your teaching practices. Let's close this agenda by reciting Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. See you next time. Stay safe and keep learning. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah.
Thank
you,
you,
Mr.
Mr. Dagur,
Salahuddin, Ms.
Mrs.
Aisha,
Aibar.
Ms. Amel. Thank you very much.